Welcome back, guys, to another live stream. We are here on day 22 of Inktober. It is October 22nd. Boy, the month has flown by. I can't believe it. And especially when you're drawing in all your free time. So that's pretty much what's happening right now. But I'm having fun, and I think I'm almost finished. So that's exciting. I mean, we have a few more days to finish. Anyways, there's a little bit of a new format to the show. If you haven't seen it, we just do brainstorming during this segment, during the live segment. So it's just like Q&A, kind of brainstorming and trying to tackle the prompt for tonight. So the game plan is, first we're going to review yesterday's drawing, what I ended up coming up with, and then we'll roll the dice, check out and see what size paper I'm going to draw on, cut that piece of paper, and then the scraps we're going to use to pretty much try to design something or come up with a couple ideas, and then I'll finalize it before tomorrow's episode. So a lot to do, but we're going to get it done. Also, this week's going to get complicated, so the next 5 days are going to be pretty tough for me to complete, but I'm going to try to get through it. Oh man. And we're going to start tomorrow off with a pretty crazy word. But for today, let's jump over into our desktop, check out what the word is for today real quick just to get started, give us an idea, and we can also see what the word for yesterday was and jump back into that segment. So let's jump over into the desktop view. Hi Kylie, thanks for joining. We're going to go desktop view and we're going to see where we're at. So done with the entire column 1, done with the entire column 2. And yesterday was the first start, or was the beginning of column 3. Sorry, let me start over. Yesterday was the beginning of column 3, so we did change yesterday, and this is what I ended up coming up with. So we did a lot of research about what we were going to do, and I'll show you the scratch from yesterday first, and then we'll go over what actually came about. Oh. So here was our drawing yesterday. Did a lot of chain variations, anchors, Flavor Flav, Finding Nemo, lots of different things, wrecking balls, and you know, Shaun of the Dead. I really was set on doing the Shaun of the Dead scene while they're both in the shack, and I will have to revisit that someday, but that's not the direction I went for this drawing. I also didn't pick the wrecking ball, and out of these two, I didn't pick the easier one to do. So here's what I finally came up with. Here's the final version. And I thought it came out pretty good, actually. We got a lot of different things happening in this picture. I think I'm zoomed in all the way. Yep. It's as big as I can make it for everyone at home. I can take my video chat out of the corner, though. That'll help you get a better look at things. So here was the finished product. I ended up doing an underwater scene. The word was chain. We did it on a, well, the paper says 5 by 8 piece of paper, so that's what we cut it down to yesterday. And I put in some, thanks. I thought it would be interesting to add a bunch of different characters because I'm kind of in that cartooning mode where I'm drawing a lot of outline and doing coloring books. So I've been trying to take a little bit of influence from, other cartoons. So we did, on this corner I put, why is his name blanking? Bruce from Finding Nemo, and he's swimming around. We have the anchor and we have our word chain. I didn't put too much chain in it. There would have been more chain if I had done the Shaun of the Dead one, But since I didn't decide to do that, I tried to emphasize that the chain was in the front and give it more of the action of the picture. So the anchor is being dropped. Of course, it's being dropped on poor Patrick from SpongeBob, right? And SpongeBob's here, and he's freaking out. He's like, oh no, it just fell on my friend. And Bruce is over here thinking, well, even though starfish has the word fish in it, it's not really a fish, so maybe he's going to get some free lunch. I put Squidward up here playing his clarinet and put him in his tiki house or his totem pole or totem house. I don't know what. Talking head, I don't know what it is. Put it in his house, and then I figured like bring back another villain and put in Ursula as in Squidward's girlfriend, because I seem like a no-brainer match if you were going to do matches between things that lived in the sea. So I figured those two would get along and they might be hanging out together. So that was the end of this one. I really tried to do a little bit more with putting in some detail and like where the indent makes where Patrick's made an indent in the sand and put some shading in there with some pointillism. Gave the sand a little bit more texture than the background, although, you know, I think everything with color will look a little bit better. Plus, I think I need to darken some lines, probably here behind SpongeBob, to just make him pop a little bit out from the background and bring things forward. But for now, I think we're good, and we've completed the mission of making the chain. And we should move on to our next step of this process. So let me just let me give you a back video chat so everyone's right with the world. I'm going to pull this one off real quick, and we can talk about the word scratch. Now, scratch. What comes to mind when you have the word scratch? I don't know. I'm going into pretty much every one of these objectives cold, so it's kind of like, all right, well, let's think about it on the spot. Scratch. Like there's always Itchy and Scratchy if we were going to go down the cartoon route, which is a Simpsons all-time favorite. I do like Itchy and Scratchy. Would be cool to do a Scratchy design. Scratchy's the cat, although Itchy is the mouse, which I like to do too. But I don't know. That would be going more towards the cartoon side of things, though. There's also this old. There's the Bones logo from skateboarding where he's like clawing his way through what looks to be flesh. And we'll go over some of this stuff as we get into it. But first, let's do the normal ritual. Number 22. Good to go. All done with 22. Folder comes out. Man, it's getting thick. Frosty. Relax in there. Relax in there. Your Post-it note is from the Dollar Tree. Look at that. That's just not quality. Look at this Post-it note. It's been all over the place. That's a real Post-it note. Although, $5 for a pack of 3, 99 cents for a pack of 3. You get what you pay for, right? Like, that's the game. This actually has sticky on it. Anyways, that's enough about Post-it note criticism. Yeah, I could do scratch your car. I just did a car, though. And I feel like I don't want to do scratch the car. Not a great. Yeah, let's not do scratch the car. Let's do scratch on the chalkboard. Yeah, I could do like a beast like clawing at a chalkboard. But let's do our first thing we need to do. Let's roll these dice. Let's see where they land at. I'm going to back y'all out so you can see. Wonder why. Hold on, let me just give you a real quick change of light maybe. blue. No, I like the orange the best. It's just a little dark. Okay, we're doing the best we can. Anyways, lighting is a monster. Let's continue on. Let's roll the dice. Let's see what we're doing. So, as tradition, we roll the dice for height and width. Let's get our regular post-it notes. Let's draw our word. SCRATCH. That doesn't look right. Is that right? Yeah, a cat scratching a post. I could go there. I could do itchy scratching a post that's made of something weird. Okay, wait. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's do height and let's do width so we can get to the scratch paper so we can start drawing. And that's really our goal for these episodes. This week, the episodes might be a little bit shorter just because I will be going and working this week. So it'll be even less time to do things. All right. Let's roll a good number. Oh man, that went far. Sorry. I'm not changing it. So we got height of 7. Ooh, 7 by 7. We got a square today. Okay, so let's cut our paper in the best possible way to get 2 good sections out of it. So 7 by 7 would be a terrible game of dice. I would have just lost my money. All right, well, looks like I put something somewhere where it shouldn't be. You know, where's my paper cutter? It's not a small thing to lose. I'm so confused. We're not going to have to do this by hand, are we? Hold on. Technical difficulties. Let me check for my paper cutter. I don't know where I put it. Sorry guys, it was right by my desk, of course, but underneath something. All right, back to the desktop. Let's get to cutting. Well, back to the studio. Let's get to cutting. All right, zoom me out a little bit more. All right, and we can do this quickly. So 7 by 7. Ooh, man, we're gonna get a long skinny piece. Or okay, so we should cut this 7 first. All right, hold on. Sorry. I try to do this as nicely as possible so it doesn't like spike the mic. And this thing is kind of plasticky, so it has that mic feeling to it. Okay. I want to cut this piece first because I want a bigger end piece. The other piece is going to be quite small. 7. Right, and then this one is only like, you're only going to get a tiny little piece of scratch paper by 7. So really, we only got one piece that's usable, but we'll use both. Let nothing go to waste. Okay, close this up. We'll put this away. This is going to be what we finally draw on eventually, sometime between the sundown tomorrow. I'll have this finished. Okay, great. So we're going to put this piece aside. Just going to throw it up here, and we're going to work on our little piece of scratch paper. Man, you'd think I'd erase enough. A bear scratching his back on a tree. I could do blue. I could do a lot of different scratching poses. Actually, let's see what we get into. Now let's look at the world's biggest animator, probably for some assistance on what those poses look like when they do happen. So let's zoom back in. Yeah, that's right. Oh, no. Come on. You got it. Whoa. Okay. Don't freak it out. I really got to figure out that auto zoom. I feel like all my aperture settings are right, but it just doesn't want to do the thing. It's like I wasn't even paying attention in photography. Oh, I got tape all over myself. Alright, let's tape this guy down real quick. Just so I can keep him in one spot. Sometimes I have the tendency to move my pieces, but you know, actually training yourself to draw in one direction is pretty tough. And I have actually been drawing them here at the studio. I've been thinking about going live more, but I don't know. Because I do draw and spend a lot of time drawing here, even with no one watching live. And maybe it's length of time versus exposure. All right. So no pencil. Whoa. Come on. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to get something drawn on here. Hold on. Why is it having such a hard time focusing? Let me back it out a little bit. There's nothing to focus on? Okay. Just leave my hand there for a second. Let's draw a few things. Let's get started. Hopefully it'll stay in focus. We're going to do the best that we can. Alright. So what are we going to draw? What is our... Okay, so a couple of ideas. So we got the cat post scratching idea, which would like consist of one of those cat posts, right? I'm just going to draw out some sketchbook style ideas where I'm just drawing the shapes, but not particularly on any sort of plane. That makes sense. I guess I could always like just draw a horizon line just so that I have it, but who knows how long this... I want to try to fit as many things as possible onto this. Like there's usually like another step, but see the problem is if I don't draw a horizon line, nothing has real shape. It's not true. You know what would be funny? Like a cat scratching post, right? So a cat, like, do like a bear, right? But like a normal big size bear. Trying to scratch his back on this little tiny scratching post. And a cat just looking terrified that there's a bear underneath, right? Like scooted way back, body angle. Like, whoa. Something like that, ears on end. Kind of hanging off the edge. Holding on to this. And then here's our bear. I don't know what bears look like. Should probably look that up before I go out and try to draw one. Drawing from memory is not usually the best, because like you think you know. You think you know. Then you go to draw it, and it's a cow. Just like what's going to happen here. It's going to be a cow. Oh my god, it's a pig. That's not a bear. That's a weird looking pig. I told you. I was like, well, maybe I should really look at some bear photos. I just needed to give him a wider mouth, I think. I don't know. Maybe less of a mouth. Shape it. I mean, you know, work with it. Keep working with it, but like scratching his back. But see, the scratching post is too small. You'd have to have like a gigantic one. Right. And at that point, you would almost need like, you would want to like put some real emphasis into it. So you'd need like, sorry, I'm drawing pretty small just because I'm trying to get as much. You'd need like this going on, right? And the cat would be sitting up here. And then the back of this bear would be like here with like both his arms like trying to really get into that crevice, you know? His arms are back. His head's probably up somewhere around here, like looking up, because he's probably like really enjoying his back scratch. And his legs are leaning all the weight back into it. But with that happening, that would bend the post, you know? And you could give some pretty interesting look to the post. Let's hop over onto the split screen so we can do a little bit of research. I'm hoping that this doesn't like completely, every time I start typing, it like activates my hotkeys on the other side, which is a little frustrating, but we're getting through it. All right, so there's our rules. Let's jump into Google. Let's look at Google. Let's look at Itchy, and oh, there we go. Well, that's kind of what I wanted it to look like, is a bear scratching his back on a tree, but instead of a tree, scratching his back on a cat scratching post. Come on. Come on, keyboard. There you go. Oh, told you. I'll hop you guys back. Sorry about that. So there's Scratchy from Itchy and Scratchy. We're gonna look into that. This might, oh, nope, nope, nope. But this might be a little bit interesting because we need to, oh, every time I type something in it might freak it out. What else am I looking for? Bear scratching his back on a tree, and again it flipped you out of the desktop version. So we're just going to do some images. So here's some real images of bears scratching their backs on trees. Cool. Jungle book. What's the bear's name? Baloo? How do you spell that? Baloo? Ah. from the Jungle Book. Scratchy is back on a tree. Get specific. There is images of that. It's a pretty funny image. Oh, sorry, desktop. What else? Let's look up cat. You're gonna go back into the studios. Scratching post. But I can jump you back easily. Images there. Oh, there's some complicated cat scratching posts. Let's look up Bones Brigade Scratch. Sorry, I know it sent you. I know it sent you back to. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be. What else? Was there any other suggestions? Scratch on a chalkboard, cat scratching post, bear scratching back on tree. Looks more like a bear scratching. Okay, so now, since we have all our visuals up, I can put us into split screen. We can hang out here. It's a little bit easier to navigate. Like, look at this cat scratching post. Whose cat is getting hooked up with this thing? Someone's cat that's worth $63.12. That's who. If you had to make that, that would cost you more than $63.12. I wonder how many of these have sold. I don't know. Let's not get on a tangent, but that's a crazy cat scratching post. Look at this one. It's a carrot. Who doesn't want the carrot cat scratching post? I mean, only the best for your cat, right? Really. Here's a mushroom one for the mushroom lovers. I feel like mushrooms have been a lifelong selling point for the world. From the Smurfs all the way through. Could also do like getting scratched by a zombie. Yeah, they're pretty ridiculous. There's Baloo. I like this one. I was gonna pick one. You got some real bears scratching their backs on trees, looking weird. But see that head up motion? That's because they're trying to scratch like the back of their neck too, I'm guessing. Like that whole piece. They're almost like standing up with the tree. Like lean back, make sure those arms are out forward. Right? Lots of things we can do. Okay, and then to go back to maybe like make this more cartoon style, we have Itchy and Scratchy. I mean, like classic Itchy and Scratchy, kind of violent in nature. Just trying to see what my best route is here. It must be funny to put put like a bear. There'd be no way to do it though. Like put Scratchy or Itchy scratching at the bear, his like back, and then it's saying scratching post on a little sign that's taped to his back, and the bear turned around and looked really angry, like kind of scowling at him. Let's try to see if we can put that together. Find a pose that's similar. Man, just all the same poses. But yeah, I kind of wanted him to like be giving him a gift that's a scratching post, but it's actually a bear. And he's just scratched the back of a bear. Unwittingly just picked a fight with a bear. Yeah. Right, so you have him standing here. You'd almost have to make him like so oversized, the bear, that you either couldn't tell what he was. So that's not going to work. Because like, alright, what's going on with Scratchy anyways? He's like two eyes. I mean Itchy. No, Scratchy. Then he's like, I keep doing this to myself where I'm like drawing it like as the smallest possible. So just for reference, he's got like a nose. He's got like this going on. What's good about a lot of animation is that the animators really drew them with the idea of like, we need to draw this a million times. What's going to be the easiest? So they usually have a lot of form to them. They're all the same. If he has three like things coming out of his head here, it's pretty likely that you're going to have he's probably going to have three every time you see him. Goes back into here somewhere. He's got little beady eyes. Is there really anything other than that? Nope. This might not come to such a degree. That would be basically Scratchy if I was to draw him. And he also, I think, has regular hands like Mickey. Very Mickey Mouse hands. See, here's a good one. Both of them. Very Mickey Mouse hands. I mean, he almost looks a little different in this one. Why did I try to draw it backwards? because I was like, oh, I want a challenge. Mirror it. It's not a good idea. Helps you really try to understand why lines connect to each other. Then you got a fang here. You got a fang here. You got a mouth, but the mouth comes down. Oh man, the mouth is a bit complicated. We'll get there. Oh, it connects. So let's make a connecting line. Then you got a tongue in there. And then his hair is kind of the wild part of... Could do that. Could definitely do that. He's kind of got like the devil look to him. And then he's got like an eyebrow. But nothing on this side. Not so much. This only comes in. And then it goes up off his head. Then there's a lip. Then he has like a normal man body. Right? Like he's wearing a suit. Just trying to do a quick sketch. Oh man, I should have lengthened his head a little bit here. Kind of the unforgiving side of can I give him a scratching hand? Where does a thumb go when you're scratching? Off to the side, like a claw. Yeah, he's like a normal person in there. And then he's got these cat legs. Whoops. This one goes really straight. This one comes out to the back like this. Not doing a very good job. Something like that. And then tail. Don't forget the tail. Or we could draw something really scratchy. Just playing with ideas. I don't know. Different ideas, different ways to go. do like a. I was also thinking maybe do like a big close up of a hand, right? But this would also be hard to draw. But like. Maybe like a scratch. From a zombie. But like that can't, it doesn't tell enough of a story to warrant like you won't be able to tell. I could draw an opened hand. Someone fallen dead with maybe like a crucifix. So many things you can do. Monkey scratching another monkey. It's not a bad idea. I like back scratchers. I think back scratchers should unionize. I mean, they probably do a lot of work. Probably keep a lot of people at ease from exploding. What a little device. Back scratcher. What about somebody scratching themselves? Like itchy. I feel like that's a hard thing to draw. What about the easy solution? Draw a corner pocket. On a pool table. There's your bumper. There's your edge. There's your corner pocket. Here's the ball going for the corner pocket. Here's your other rail. Right? Here's the ball moving in that direction. Here's like, you can see that there's another ball here. You can see that there's another ball sitting here on the pool table. You can even see that this one says 6 on it. And this one says 1. But this one, that's the white ball. And it's going in the corner pocket. Which means, yep, you guessed it. That's a scratch. Right? There you go. There's a pool table for you. Just trying to think of ideas. I do like the monkey scratching the other monkey's back. I've done a monkey though on this series with little monkey in the thing. I do like that idea, but let's try to mix it up and let's put a little bit of splash into a different idea where I'm thinking this might be good. This will work. What size are paper? Square though. We got to remember we're working with a square. Yeah, I know what to do. I know what to do, but I need to see if it's going to work. Let me see my keyboard real quick, and we're going to do just a quick jump through of some gargoyles, which is really what we want to do. Gargoyles. There was a Disney show called Gargoyles back in the day. Oh yeah, see, it's popping up. That's the first thing. Disney owns the world. Okay, so like maybe take an idea off some gargoyles and give them a back scratching type pose. It's like you got to give it that feeling that they're getting like the best back scratch in their life, you know? Which is like, what does that look like? Okay. So let's draw out some poses. Where's that little tiny piece of paper? Oh, I don't see it. It's lost. Oh no, I have it. Here it is. This is too small. We're going to flip our piece of paper. I'm going to start over on the other side. Maybe I shouldn't tape these. Note to self. Next time, got plenty of dew. Could do initials scratched into a tree. I can add that too. Let's let's do what we had just talked about though. And I'm gonna break this up into our actual scene so we know what it looks like in the square. We're gonna get 2 shots at this. 2 squares. Okay, it's one terrible square. But I'm thinking you do one gargoyle. Okay, so you do like an old castle, right? What are these sitting on? They're usually just sitting on ledges, but pretty ornate. Like designed ledges. This might take more of some geometric work and measuring. These are both sitting on pedestals. Those are pretty cool though. Someone had to carry those all the way up there. Yeah, they sit on some pretty ornate structures. Like, wow, those are crazy. That might be a lot to do. Like, what if we stuck with something simple and kind of just built some of these lower extremities? So this is a really weird angle. Wish I had a better angle of it. I was just thinking maybe I'd do a bird sitting, two birds sitting on on I do two birds. Let's just draw a practice one. So you have the gargoyle and its head sitting out like this, right? Its mouth open, it's got some sort of ear here, might have a horn, small horn, looks like it's got some sort of eye, right? And it comes back to here. And of course I could draw in all the cool scaling and everything if I wanted to. Blah blah blah, right? But then on top of that, I put two birds. One bird, since birds don't have wings, the bird has a back scratcher. Huh. Let's go back to this side. What if I drew two birds really close together, right? And one bird standing here, and he's got his wing up, and he's got, I'm gonna draw it on this side. I'll just draw it over here. Okay, bird number one, standing here, looking confused, trying to scratch his back. Eyebrow up to look confused. Eyebrow down. There. Looking confused. One up, one down. Confused. Let's put a eyeball around it. Okay. There we go. We got our bird. Little mouth underneath. Fine. Should put some hair on him too, just to give him a top of a head. So he's here with his back scratcher. Now in order to use a back scratcher, nope, this isn't going to work. The wing movement is going to be out of control. So he's trying to scratch his back with a back scratcher because he's only got a wing. Oh, maybe I can do it. And so I just don't think I can fit it. And then his friend is standing in between him and the back scratcher, like loving it. Because in theory, his friend's getting his back scratched. So his arms, this is going to look too matey. These birds are going to be way too close together. And getting your back scratched, you know, you're doing some weird things with your face. Maybe not paying attention. Yeah, it looks a little matey. And this poor bird doesn't have any idea that this bird back here is stealing. He's even wiggling a leg because he's so happy. Right? And then he's got the back scratcher here. But this bird, still confused on why his back isn't being scratched when he's doing all the work. Trying to look at what it looks like to scratch someone's back. Scratching is really just like a hand. It's like a claw-looking hand movement. Scratching your head, looking confused. But like, even if you were gonna have one thing scratching another thing's back. So I was guessing I was gonna have the gargoyles hunched over, right? Legs, feet, wings. Oh man, that's what gets tricky. They got wings. So where do those go? Those gotta go somewhere. Can't scratch around wings. Okay. No gargoyles. Let's cut that out of the thought process. Still haven't like solidified any sort of idea. I still like this cat, the bear scratching on the cat post, and the cat looking terrified. Ooh. Maybe what I do, ooh, the perspective on something like that, what would it look like? Maybe I could do a cat in a tree. Like our monkey looking down. Right? Cat, tree, legs in front of him, looking down, branch, another branch, branches from that branch, branch from that branch, branch, branch from this branch, branch over here, branch to this branch, branch here. This branch is still going, right? He's on a tree branch. It's getting thinner this way. More branches, more trees, more leaves. Right, drawing leaves of some sort. Doesn't quite matter. Sorry, I know these are quite small. I just don't have a whole lot of ideas. I could do, maybe I could do Scratchy scratching his head on a scratch post while a bear scratches underneath it. So I was thinking of putting the bear down here, but big bear. Down perspective, scratching his back on the tree. It's a pretty harsh perspective. I still think this is a funny idea. The little bird just like stealing this bird's back scratching situation. So the pose of someone scratching someone's back looks like this. Chin down, maybe. Face down. Head looking forward. Arm up, and then like hand and wrist. Fingers coming down. Shoulder extended. And the other hand maybe coming from higher with also a claw. Could I do an extreme perspective of a giant paw? Like if I did a small drawing. I'm running out of room to draw now. This is almost, this person looks like they're leaning back almost off their pelvis from the picture I'm looking at. Huh. So, if you're gonna look confused, scratching your head, and your eyes at a real shifty looking situation. Heads down to this side. You got a nose here. Easy. A mouth frowning. Then you have a hand that's pinky forward because it's the front hand. So you have your pinky here. You have all your other fingers backing that up. And the thumb goes in the back. Like that. And the hand goes back over, down somewhere here, back to the shoulder, which is here. Neck, chin, head, hair. Looking suspicious. Face. Ear. Right? Other ear. Circle for the nose, dot. Maybe eyebrows. Eyebrow raised up on this one side. Eyebrow going down on this side. There's a lot going on that section. Sorry. This was not the best piece of paper to use. So are we going to come to some sort of conclusion on what we're going to draw today? I don't know. I thought I was going to have it set and do like a good old cathedral. Do two things scratching each other. But I feel like that's not the way I want to go. The bear scratching himself on a tree would look cool. I think it would try to push me to work with shape a little bit more. Like if a bear is occupying X amount of space, like, and that bear has a stomach and he's putting his shoulders back from his body, his chest is going forward. I'm going to try to salvage whatever's here. Bear here, right? Bear face. He's looking pretty happy. I know everyone at home is like, I cannot tell what you're drawing because it's all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, you're completely right. So shoulders, like elbows here, shoulders here. And then we still have like neck and chest here. And maybe the belly's being pushed out because we're scrubbing the back. But still, same. And then we can put in that teddy bear, fresh underbelly looking piece that bears have. And you put that fuzzy elbow and the hand, and the head needs to be up against that tree. Right? You got a claw. Whoops. You got a claw here. Ooh, we're getting messy in this sketchbook. That's okay. That's the way it's supposed to go. That way I can do the final drawing in the comfort of my own watching TV. And so these legs are really pushed up against, so it goes like flat and then whole leg really pushing back into this tree that's coming down here. So maybe even ultra extended. Claw, leg to foot, leg to foot. Right. Here's our tree. We're gonna give it some texture, make some differentiation between the bear and the tree. Color on the outside a little bit more. Give it that shading that we all want to see. I'm sorry I'm drawing so terribly inside of everything, but I'm just trying to kind of pump out some images. Let me get this a little bit darker for everyone so you can actually see where my bear starts and stops. Maybe give this some more depth. Bob Ross it a little bit, you know, just throw some stuff in there. Just gonna outline this one. I'd still like that bird. Oh no, the bear could work. The bird's okay. The super out of perspective one, meh. What else we got? We didn't really do much here. 8-ball scratch, no. Itchy and Scratchy I could still use. I do like this comic book style, but I don't know how I'm going to input it together. Like, how do I bring all the things together? What do they all have in common? What do I want to do for my final? What if Okay. Yeah, there's enough shaking lines I think around him at the moment that I mean you would need what, up and down lines, so like maybe here and here, right? Because you're trying to draw like where he would. You're trying to give it like a silhouette of him moving. Something like that. If you were going to do that, but what was I just thinking about? I just lost train of thought. I had a good idea. What was I going to do? I totally forgot what I was going to do. I was going to look something up. I know what I can do. And this will all work. And it'll come back to my original design. Here we go. Still square though. I don't know, I'm going to pull this off and look square. Come on. Okay, so here's my idea. I use Winnie the Pooh, but I try to use him as a plush. And I draw him underneath the cat post. Or I draw a teddy bear underneath the cat post, something that looks like it could be underneath the cat post. Then I draw an evil looking cat. And maybe a Winnie the Pooh that's not completely there, or like maybe a piglet arm hanging out of his mouth, or something of that nature. Oh, thanks. It's just a bunch of scribbles there. So I think that would work well for my idea. I would just need a good Winnie the Pooh visual where it looks like he's, I guess it would be like seen by the movement of his shirt. So let's see. Pretty happy in that pose. He looks confused. There's Winnie the Pooh scratching his head. So side view of the plush. That's kind of what we need. Right? I don't know, I just feel like this might be difficult to draw too. Now I'm all itchy because I'm thinking about scratching and itching your back. So let's pop over to the front where we have a little bit more room. Let's just draw our friend Winnie the Pooh, just to give him an idea of what we're up against. There's our bare nose. He's got this happy face. Oh, and then like a lip, but not really. Then he's got a shirt. We're gonna draw that shirt back. The back of his head goes like this. He's got an eyebrow right here. He's got an eye there. His shirt does not look like an astronaut shirt. It goes like this. He's got an arm. It goes into his shirt. His arm looks like a giant Twinkie. And then you have from the front of his shirt, he has more like of a lip here. I need to fix that. Whoops. And then his shirt's a little high because he's a little pudgy, plump, and then he's got like legs, 3 section of legs. And there you go, yeah, Winnie the Pooh. With maybe need a better face. All the little tiny gears turning in my head, trying to figure out what I'm doing. So could I draw Winnie the Pooh scratching here? Maybe. Let's see if I drew him. There he is. His head definitely goes back behind there. So here's his face. He's got these chubby cheeks, but he's got a his nose needs to be up because he's using the scratching post. Oh no, I don't know how to draw him. Put some pudgy cheeks on him. And he's got eyebrows and then an eyebrow. He doesn't look much like Winnie the Pooh. He looks like a messed up mouse. And then back's flat against it. Arms. Arms out, right? He's just got these Twinkie-like arms. He's got this tiny shirt that doesn't fit him. And he's got bendy legs. Like he's trying to scratch himself up and down. Right, so he's on the downstroke. And then you would have to draw. Man, that's a terrible Winnie the Pooh. What went so wrong? He doesn't have very many lines in his face. Maybe I just need to look at more. I think that's a good facial look for him. See, if I copy what's already done, that's great, but it doesn't help me like actually draw him, you know? I don't know why he is the way he is. Got an eyebrow way up here. Eyebrow here. Got another half eye here. He's got a real happy face going on here. But hopefully, if I can practice drawing some of these gestures and poses, that eventually I won't need to use so much reference. I'll be able to just draw things. I just feel like maybe I don't spend enough time looking at things. And then that just neck piece goes into his collar. I feel like we've gotten a little bit off topic though, because the word of today is not Winnie the Pooh. The word for today is scratch. Yeah, I could create my own character, which is fine too. I don't know. I just have to think about it, I guess. Well, before our stream is over, because that was a quick hour and a half, just a quick fly through of time and drawing. Yeah, it's true. I know I don't have the luxury of erasing, at least now that we're drawing with ink. It's kind of a little bit more difficult to erase, but I feel like it gives a better view to people at home watching. I'm gonna have to actually do the real version now, and what will that look like? What will that look like? 7x7. I'm gonna have to take what I've learned from this one, which is like what we drew, some bears scratching themselves on posts. We drew some scratching posts. We drew Scratchy from Itchy and Scratchy show. We did a lot of drawing actually. So this will be what we end up drawing on, but first we'll just take a look at what we did. I don't know, I kind of like this little tiny drawing in the corner with the bear scratching himself, which would be kind of on point with this bear in the tree scratching himself. If I went that way. Just doesn't seem that creative to me. I like to mix a lot of different ideas together so that like the picture is visually interesting, like yesterday's picture that we did with SpongeBob and Bruce and everybody, and trying to mix a little bit of pop culture in with some art and learning on the way. So I don't know, learned a little bit about bears. I know that the face of bears are different and there's like certain features. I just don't draw bears all that much, so They didn't have a great. I mean, it's okay. The bear came out all right. There's also Yogi Bear, but we're not trying to do bear. We're trying to look for the word scratch. Yeah, I could draw a bunch of different bears scratching themselves on the tree. But I also need to fit it into our square piece. So what's going to look good? Square. I mean, this bear in the corner scratching himself might look good. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe I'll turn it into a cute, like, polar bear cub scratching, like, a big bear's back or something. That requires a lot of like crouching, which I don't know if I can draw. But taking what you know from a little bit from what I know from animation is when you draw something, the shape needs to change to show the weight, but the mass of the thing needs to stay the same. So if it makes sense, if you're going to squish it, like it needs to get wider, but within the same like thought process, like, oh, that's as much mass as it would take if it got squished, not disappearing. So when you squish something, it can't stay the same size. It does need to like fluctuate. But scratching is a little bit different because you're kind of leaning up against something or you're doing a physical movement. And I can probably try to work with a few of those ideas. But I don't know. That's pretty much it for tonight. We're going to sleep on it, sketch it out some more on the not live hours. But that was, Q&A if anyone wanted to tune in. I feel like this platform is fun for that. But we'll see how it goes after Inktober. Today's the 22nd. We have another 11 days to continue on our journey through Inktober. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for commenting and hanging around for the episode if you did. I do appreciate all the comments and thought processes other people have, because they do spark ideas with what I'm trying to create, and then it changes it a little bit. But I don't know what I'm going to do. I kind of want to feel like I want to steer it to like Winnie the Pooh either getting in a fight with a cat, looks a little scratched up and beat up, or maybe, something of that nature, or I'll probably do a bear scratching under a tree or try to figure out something else. But you're going to have to wait till tomorrow night to see what I end up finishing. So, like I said, hope you guys like this one. We'll see you next time. Have a good night and have a great start to your week. I will see you tomorrow night at the same time. Peace.